Is find yourself a Bible that you can tear up. Hi friends, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new, my name is Jenny Campbell, and I make fashion and beauty videos here on YouTube on Mondays and Wednesdays, and I make Functional Friday videos on Fridays, which are how-tos, or sometimes they're just tips and tricks, mom hacks, things like that. And today is Functional Friday, and we're going to talk about how to stay connected spiritually amidst the busyness of life. And so I'm a mama, I have 3 kids, I homeschool them, have tons going on, I serve in the church, and so I have a lot going on. I know what it's like to be busy and feel like you just don't have time for everything. And so I wanted to share a few tips and tricks that I have found that help me with this subject. So if that sounds like something that you're interested in seeing, then please keep watching. Okay, so disclaimer, before I get started on this, I want to say that I am by no means, I've said this before in multiple videos, I'm not the best at this. I'm not claiming to be the best at this. I have gone seasons of my life in deep, dry spells where I have not flourished in my relationship with the Lord, where I have been desperate for a deeper relationship with Him. And I have gone seasons where it has been just a sweet period of time with the Lord. And so I'm not saying that I have everything figured out in this arena, but I did want to share some tips and tricks that I have found that I think would be helpful for you. So I'm going to try to do this as organized as I can. I know that there are a few excuses that come up, and even at points in the last couple of months, this has been a struggle for me. I will say that the biggest enemy to my time with the Lord are excuses that I make. And so one of my biggest excuses is time. And that is just how it goes as a mama. Like I said in the intro, I homeschool my kids, and I serve in the church, and I have my YouTube channel, and I have all these things going on that is not something that has to get done at a certain time, so it falls by the wayside. And so I want to say there is a quote that I love. I think it's by Martin Luther. I'll put it up here somewhere, where he said, "I have so much to do today that I must spend the first 3 hours in prayer." And I love that quote because basically what he's saying is all of these things cannot be done. They can't be done well if I don't spend time with the Lord. And that is the truth. That's such a true statement, and I love it. So I'm going to go through my tips. The first one is stop making excuses. Just stop. Whatever your excuses are, stop saying them. That's going to be one of my goals for 2019. No more excuses. If you're staying up too late, that's an excuse. If you have a lot of things on your plate, that's an excuse. You make time for the things that you think are important. If you think this is important, you will make time for it. And that's the truth. You know it's the truth. I know it's the truth. We're not going to make excuses anymore. Okay, so the very first thing that I think is important for making sure you have a full and consistent time with the Lord and you stay connected spiritually is to make the time. So that is what I'm going to talk about first. Number 1, make the time. For me, that looks like getting up early. If you have kids, you know that there's not really another time in the day. If your kids go to bed early, it might be okay to do it at night. For me, I'm too exhausted at night. I've done everything all day long. It means more to me to give the very first fruits of my day to the Lord. And so that looks like waking up at 5:30 or 6. If I don't do that, I don't do a quiet time. That's just the truth. If I don't get up early, it doesn't happen. And so whatever that looks like for you, you have to make a decision to carve out the time. So if one of your goals for 2019 is to have a deeper and more intimate prayer life or relationship with the Lord, then you make the time. You carve it out. And you know what I've done before? I've laid my heart out before the Lord in this area before, and I have said, look, my spirit is willing, but my flesh is weak, Lord, and I need you to change that. And we can trust Him with that truth. okay? I need you to change my heart. I need you to change my flesh. And the Lord has been faithful to me in doing that. There have been times where I've thought, there's no way I'm getting up tomorrow, but Lord Jesus, I give tomorrow to you. And I pray that you would give my flesh what it needs. And he is faithful, and he has done that. And so I recommend doing that. I recommend laying that at his feet if that is something that you struggle with your flesh. But I don't recommend just giving up. So make the time. That's number one. Number two, you need a space. You need a place to do it. And this room actually is my prayer closet. If you know me, you've probably been in this room before. This is my prayer closet. It's upstairs in my house, and I realize that not everyone has access to a secret room off the guest room in their house. We've only lived here for 2 years, and before that I did not have a secret room like this. And I have used a tiny closet previous to this. I will share with you. My husband and I lived with my parents for a year, and they live in a 3-bedroom house, very small. Sean and I had one room. Our son had one room. We had one little bathroom that we shared. They had their master bathroom, but there was nothing. We barely had closet space. And so in the front of their house, there was a tiny coat closet. And in that coat closet, I put myself a giant body pillow. I set it up like it was a chair, and I scrunched myself up in that tiny coat closet like this. And every day at 5:30 a.m. I went in that coat closet, I scrunched myself up in the fetal position, and I read my Bible, I prayed, and I wrote all my scriptures out on note cards that I loved, that I had highlighted, and I pinned them all to the wall, or stapled them or something. I don't know what I did. But I had them all over the wall in this coat closet. Mom and Dad were so sweet. They put all their coats in a different closet so that I could have this closet. And I covered that closet in scriptures. And that was one of my most memorable years. It was a struggle. I mean, we had to live with my parents, which obviously no one wants to do when you're a young married couple. My husband was working all the time. We never saw him. I mean, it was a rough year, and I had a lot of health problems, but it is one of my most memorable years because of the time I spent in that little closet. Just my relationship with the Lord flourished, and that space, although it was tiny, was everything. And so I really recommend finding a space. So there's a tiny space in your closet, like a corner of your closet, or a corner of your bedroom, or a corner of your living room, wherever you can find a space, find it and let that be your war room, if you will. It's important and it makes a difference. So that's number 2. Find yourself a space to do it in. The next thing is find yourself a Bible that you can tear up. Now, I don't mean literally tear it up, but let me show you this. This is the Bible that I've used, and my grandmother gave it to me when I got married, so she got my new name in it. This is an NIV study Bible, and it's not my favorite translation ever. I like it okay, but it's not my favorite. But this Bible has been written in, it has been highlighted in, stuff has happened to this guy. And the reason this one has been used so much is because my other one fell apart. So I think Hebrews through Revelation fell out of it because I used it so much. So what I'm saying is not a Bible that looks super pretty. I mean, it can look super pretty if you want, but a Bible that you can really dig into and write in and not feel like you have to keep it perfect. And so I have a few different Bibles that I really like. I have this one. This is the ESV version, the English Standard Version. I love this one. This one is really good too. I haven't torn this one up quite as much yet. It's newer, but I plan on tearing it up. And then I also have this one, which is the Tree of Life version. I'm really excited to get more into this one. This one has a lot of Hebrew words in it. It's translated with more of a Jewish state of mind to understand that a little bit better, which I think is wonderful. And I'm really interested to get more into this one and see a little bit more of it. I also have a Jewish study Bible, which is downstairs because I use that one a lot too. I just think that's a whole nother video. I'll get into it a different time. But this is amazing too if you're interested in that kind of thing. And this is new to me. This was given to me by a dear friend. This is the Christian Standard Bible. This is the Spurgeon Study Bible. If you don't know who Charles Spurgeon is, you should look him up. He's amazing. He was amazing. He's passed away a long time ago. But he was a preacher in England, and he is just amazing. This has tons of his quotes and some of his notes, like, what's the word? Scanned into here. This is amazing. I have not put this down since I got it. It's so amazing and I love it. If you're gonna do a study Bible, make sure you do a lot of research and you're careful about which one you pick, but this is a great one. So that's what you want. You want one that you can definitely, it's a translation that you trust and that you like and that you can read easily and that you can really get into and write in and highlight in and, you know, work through. Okay, and the third thing is to get yourself a Bible study. Now, this is it's harder than just getting a Bible study, and I understand that, because it's hard just to open your Bible and start reading, and we don't always know where to go with that. I recommend this. This is a book by Jen Wilkin. It's called Women of the Word. This is a great book on it's how to study the Bible with both our hearts and our minds. This is excellent to get you started just thinking about how to study your own Bible and study on your own. Jen Wilkin also has tons of Bible studies that you can download for free on your phone. All of her studies are wonderful. All the ones that I've done are so good. I recommend them. I definitely think you should look at them and possibly download them. I do have a video coming out soon that is, I think it will be out next month, that is my favorite Bible studies, and so that will come out in February. But for now, I think you should check out, there's a website called Faith Plus Family. It's a blog by a dear friend of mine. Her name is Danelle, and she has some really great resources on her blog. Also, just reading her blog as a little devotional is wonderful. And if you're watching this video, you have time to read her blog. It's even shorter than this. And so I will link her blog down below. It will give you so much information, so many resources. She also has a really great Bible study out on Ephesians, which is wonderful. And I think she's coming out with a new Bible study on 1 Samuel. And so that is a great website. Like I said, tons of resources. So check her out down below. You will really like that. That will give you tons of things to think about and read and look at, which is wonderful. So, all that to say, those are my tips for staying connected to the Lord, staying spiritually connected when you are busy, which we all are. But I think my number one tip out of all the ones I just said is stop making excuses. We can all do it. We all can. Like I said, you will make the time for what you think is important, and so will I. And so let's challenge each other. Let's make each other stronger in the Lord, like iron sharpens iron. If you have any ideas of how to stay connected in the Lord and how to stay strong in your faith when you're busy, leave those suggestions down below. I would love to hear them. I could always use more suggestions. And so I know that is a huge struggle for everybody. And so leave those suggestions down below. And thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe down below. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.